This footage has ATF agents demonstrating how an RPG-7 is quote-unquote functional in order to prosecute a man for having illegal destructive devices and machine guns. In reality, this video demonstrates how absurdly the ATF lied and railroaded Tate Adamiak into a 20-year prison sentence. The whole case is laughably absurd if it weren't so infuriating. Welcome to Guns, Gear, and Guns with Gary Gunnarsson. I am Gary Gunnarsson. The RPG tube you see in the video is one of two that he owned for display. The fire control group was a solid block of aluminum, completely non-functional. There is a large hole in the side of the tube, so if you were to shoot a rocket out of it, you would self-immolate, and it has training aid dummy written on the side because that's exactly what it is. However, to facilitate this video and subsequent prosecution, the ATF declared this is a functional destructive device by taking several steps. First, they removed the solid block fire control group and installed a functional fire control group from ATF's own reference collection. Those parts were not owned by Adamiak. You can see the agent handling a device. Well, that is not a rocket, it's a Czech training aid from the Cold War, either a VH-7 or VH-7A, which is a completely separate firearm. Once again, this was not owned by Adamiak, but was provided by the ATF for this demonstration. It's a single-shot firearm that is legal to own. They were inserted into RPG tubes to fire a single 7.62x39 tracer round to save money on training accuracy with an RPG. This is not a functional RPG. They put a functional firearm into a tube and shot that. Based on this definition, as long as the firearm they provided fits into a pipe, any house with plumbing is rife with destructive devices. Yet, this is one of the charges in his conviction. The other charges are less flashy but equally false. A PPSH parts kit which was cut up and imported into the United States legally and purchased legally was in his possession. However, ATF has revised some requirements on new parts kits that come into the country and how it has to be cut up, but this type of PPSH parts kit is still readily sold, and it is clearly not a firearm. The other charges were for grenade launchers, which were assembled with fake barrels and on display, but on the other side of his property there were functional barrels with other parts kits. Hey, at least he owned the parts for these charges, but they are still bogus. The entire case is full of government nonsense. It all started because the government arrested a felon in possession of a firearm and told him he would go to jail if he did not find someone selling machine guns on Gunbroker. Unable to do so, he reported Adamiak, and the feds initially charged him with over 40 machine guns in his possession, which included flats for semi-auto Mac 11s, completely legal open-bolt semi-automatic firearms, which, in their testing, they even acknowledged only fired one shot for each pull of the trigger, and the biggest reach which made headlines at the time, a toy Sten gun which the ATF modified heavily, even more than the RPG. The Denix Sten gun is a replica model which can still be purchased today. The ATF agent took it apart, acknowledges this is a cast zinc alloy, and the barrel is a hollow tube with thin walls and no chamber. He took a full auto bolt from the National Firearms collection and a barrel from the same collection. He put the bolt in and used electrical tape to put the barrel in place. With this contraption, he was able to rather dangerously fire a single shot and declared this is a machine gun. According to himself, a magazine could not even be inserted due to how he manipulated this barrel into place. This entire case is nonsense. He should be pardoned. Anyone at ATF or DOJ involved in the case should be fired and, frankly, should serve the rest of his prison sentence that they gave him. It's a joke, a waste of time, and a mockery of the law. But that's all for today. You can support the channel by joining my Patreon, liking the video, sharing it with others, and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching.